Well, hey. I'm Tina, and I'm here with.
Dr. Michael Gross, how are you, everyone? Thank you for being here.
We're thrilled to pieces to be coming to you
Absolutely.
today. It's Sunday, and we always do this Facebook Live at 2 o'clock Pacific time. And one of the things that we enjoy doing is bringing you incredible topics that Michael's going to talk about really quick here. But I also want to take this time to thank everybody for spending some of their Sunday with us. And if you don't happen to see this on the live, it stays live on our Facebook pages and also up on YouTube. So feel free to join in anytime and watch it, because had it not been for this wonderful gentleman, I wouldn't be here in this most amazing place that I am today.
Well, thank you.
Life has so much to be grateful for. Life really does have a lot to be grateful for, but sometimes we get caught up in the chaos that we forget that. Okay, so on that note, Dr. Michael Gross is the author of The Spiritual Primer. Let me finish.
All right. We were brother and sister in a past life. She hasn't changed. Still got to be bossy.
Well, and that's a new thing. I used to be incredibly shy until you came along.
Boy, oh boy. What did I do?
Well, he unleashed the real me, which is wonderful, because now I get to know me and everybody else gets to meet the real me too. But on that note, this is an excellent book. I highly recommend it. It's called The Spiritual Primer, and in it are so many golden nuggets that will also open your mind up. And who knows, maybe a light bulb moment will happen for you as well as it did for me. Okay, so this is a definite must read. I highly recommend it.
Thank you. And this is a book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul by T.U. Knapp. It's a phenomenal story of a woman who, like the phoenix, rose from the ashes and became reborn. This is a very heroic story of a woman who faced the trials and tribulations of life and came out whole and renewed and reinvigorated, who's going to make a difference on this planet with abused women, children, and men. A must read.
On that note, I will say that if it wasn't for this book and this wonderful man, that book would not have happened. It wouldn't be written. It would still be somewhere in the I wish list or maybe I should list, but it happened. It's right there. And it's a beautiful gift for anyone who you love that's struggling right now. And this one too. They kind of go together, don't you think?
Yeah. Brothers and sisters.
Well, in a way, Michael says that, in a past life we were twins. And you know what? I honestly believe he's absolutely right on that note, because, oh my goodness, the stuff that we come up with. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and give
Well, why don't you tell them about a meditation what you saw?
What I just told you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had a meditation the other day, and 2 years ago, I always thought that meditation was kind of, something for people that could actually stop the chatter in their head. I had a hard time at first. I was focusing on all this noise going on. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that, blah, blah, blah. The phone is ringing. I got to make an appointment. And what happened was I had a hard time meditating. I really, really did. And then Michael kept being patient and teaching me. And now it's become something I do every day. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And talking about us being twins, I met my mom. I met our mom. I know some of you might think, oh, what have they been drinking today, right? But it's not like that. Who I saw was the most amazing and beautiful and kind and loving woman. And she was out in the garden. And she looked at me and basically said, I'm proud of you both.
And she was beautiful. I looked like her. Beautiful. I don't know what she looks like, but
well, back in those days, they didn't have milkmen.
Nothing's changed. We're still sibling rivalries, but having a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know what? And that's what it's all about. We can all sit there, and I'll just say this really quick. We can always sit there and think about what we don't have.
Right.
So-and-so's got this and I don't, and this one is going on these wonderful trips and I'm not, or, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We can talk about that for eternity. But the bottom line is that we have to look and embrace the things that we do have, the moments that we have today, the time that we have with the people that matter in our lives, the people who we love and care about. And more than anything, that's what matters.
Yes.
It's the moment that we have in time right now. And that's why we're so incredibly honored that you're taking your precious time to watch our message, our recording, or whatever, whenever you watch it, you're giving some of your valuable time to hear Michael's powerful message. And, today our topic is the right action and correct exchange.
Correct.
Right? And on that note, I'm just going to go ahead and formally introduce you.
I got to tell you, you did a great job of an introduction, what we're going to do. So thank you.
You're welcome. Shall I read this or not?
Certainly.
This is the only thing that we've got. There he goes, wobbling the computer.
I'm having a double water neat, if you know what that means.
And this is the only part that I like to read from because he has so many, there are so many things that Michael has done. He's incredibly knowledgeable on so many different factors. And the one thing that he is not knowledgeable with is how wobbly this table is. No, that's okay.
Always picking on me. Nothing's changed.
Well, it happened back in Mesopotamia. Why wouldn't it happen now, right?
All right.
Okay. So Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, spiritual counselor, and a teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self-empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their intuitive abilities. See what he's done? I even saw my mom from way back when. How cool is that, right? So I got sidetracked. See, even with the paper, I can get sidetracked. Okay, Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self-empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing that the work that he does all comes from God, the true source. Michael lives in Lakewood, Washington, and I am thrilled because I'm part of his brand new nonprofit that he's launched. And it is now a 5013C, and the name of it is
the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. More to follow. We announce this every month or every week when we're doing these, and we're doing a lot of work in putting this all together. It's more than I anticipated, but it's getting done. And of course, the director of abuse and the nonprofit is none other but you. No.
Well, when you walk through the slog of the gutter for as long as I did, it's about time I could say, at least I understand how it feels, and now I can help other people also get out. So on that note, Michael, I am going to
thank you.
Give everything to you.
Well, just a word that Tiu has a PhD in what she wrote about the book and helping others that are abused. So anyway, everybody.
Michael, is that like the School of Hard Knocks?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I graduated with a degree in the School of Hard Knocks.
Summa cum laude. Yes, she did. Anyway, everyone, thank you for joining us. And I wanted to talk about the law of right action and correct exchange. It's so important for us to understand right action and correct exchange and how we can manipulate everything in our mind and in our thoughts. And if someone does something that kind of messes up your life, or let's say causes some aggravation or something negative, I have the right to get even. No, you don't. I have the right to hurt them. No, you don't. First of all, we have to understand the background. The background is whatever you think you create, whatever you create, you experience. Whatever's going around with somebody or on in this person that demean you, the law of right action and correct exchange says karma, 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 karma. So if we remember karma, remember it's a double-edged coin. So what it says is what comes around goes around. That's another experience. And karma is divided into challenges to learn and also pleasure or gifts. Pleasure and gifts to me are synonymous in this case. What I'd like everybody to understand in my conversations with the true source, and yes, we can speak with the true source. When I first met the true source said the law of right action and correct exchange. Right action says when you ask for something, the true source, hey, you have the right to ask for anything you want, Michael. But if you involve me, then it only has to be right action. And it's going to be my time, not your time, which is the perfect time. And correct exchange says pay it forward. But I want to talk more about right action. And that is when you are demeaned or wrong or something happens. You know, we have the fight or flight or frozen syndrome, which I discussed before. So our immediate action or reaction is to fight. And if it's really intense enough, you may run away or get stuck in it. Running away means you didn't face it. And maybe it's wrong, but it pushed your button because you have some sensitivity. And I'll give you an example. And I was once at a gathering, and this particular woman had trouble with men because she thought they were always hitting on her. Now, she knew me for at least 9 or 10 months. And they said, well, welcome back. I heard you had a great trip. You got a new haircut. Gee, you look great. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? And she came in and jumped all over me. And one of my friends said, hey, he's not hitting on you. He's just complimenting you. You look good. That's all, which is true. I was doing right action, complimenting someone. Because that's one of the best things you can do, by the way, is compliment someone. Thank you for a lovely dinner. Thank you for giving me a ride somewhere. Thank you for spending time. That's right action. But because we're always comparing the present with the past, there was something that triggered her with men. And finally, she calmed down. And that's the point. When someone turns around and you're doing right action, you say, hey, you look great, it's a great haircut or whatever. And I try to really go out of my way to compliment people at least once a day or more and thank them. What I'm doing is helping them feel good about themselves. I'm feeling good because I have the opportunity to make them feel good. And that's right action. And paying it forward, or, as we say, paying it forward, or right action and correct exchange, which is paying it forward. I'm being a little wordy here. Is that
you got that from me?
Is that someone, she or he, may do the same thing. And that's what's so important. In our life today, there's so many people judging us. Whether you should get the COVID virus vaccine, you should get a new job, relationship, whatever the dickens going on, people are so quick to judge. But is that really right action? One of the things we need to understand is when someone's criticizing us, what they fear in themselves, they're fostering upon you. Think about that.
Right.
So if they're criticizing you, it's something in themselves that they see is also negative. For example, all right, you turn around and you just go to a person and they're around there and you're saying, gosh, you look real great, you've taken off weight. What do you mean? What do you think, I'm fat? Because that's their fear of the fat. When you say you look good, you've taken off weight. Doesn't mean they were heavy set or they thick. We have to use the right terminology, thick today. It was just that, they took off some more weight. Maybe they're the perfect weight. They wanted to take off more weight. Or maybe whatever, they're eating differently, whatever it is. The important thing is that we do not sit around and judging, because that's not right action. Now, our innate gift that we have is we're always judging. We're always comparing the past with the present. And one of the judgments is you go out to dinner and you like the dinner, so you talk about what a great dinner was, right? So that's a positive judgment because you enjoyed it. Now, not necessarily for someone else, like, my sister, she may not like it. And that's okay because I enjoyed it and I'm sharing it with you. And right action is, I'm sharing it, correct exchange it. She may go try the restaurant or say, I like that, but this restaurant's a little better. And you know what? I honor that. Now, maybe in my opinion, it's not as good as the restaurant I went to, but our taste buds are different. But we have to accept what another person says. And it's really, really true. One of the things I like to talk about is, what Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. And there's so much wisdom, So if somebody comes to me and said, tomorrow morning it's going to be raining, do I take it at face value? Or I trust, and then I might check the weather report. Oh yeah, she is right. It is going to rain. Or maybe I'll just accept it the way it is. But right action says to be open to everything. And also to be aware, does it really apply to you? Just like that woman, I said, your haircut looks really good. And she looked good. It's black and white, face value, that's it. No hidden agendas, no meanings. But because she is always comparing the present with the past, maybe somebody tried to hit on her, or who knows what happened. And we need to understand within our lives, when you speak from the heart, and you really mean what you say, that's right action. And if someone objects to it or gets upset, it's important for you to ignore it. And that person may pass it on, correct exchange or not. But whether they choose to or not, you are done, you are finished. It's not your choice. Therefore, what I am saying is, outcomes when you do something, it's not for something for you to look forward to. It's not for something to say, well, that justifies me and I did the right thing. For example, I've told many people, intuitively and otherwise, they shouldn't do this or they should do that. And let's say I was right, for example, and they did the opposite, and they come back, well, Michael, I should have listened to you. And my answer is, well, you learned what worked and didn't work. That's all. So I said, see, you should have listened. I told you so. You don't listen. Remember that? Sister would do that. So,
No.
we need to understand that. And when people are like that way, honor them for that, because they learned what worked and didn't work. Thomas Alva Edison took 113 tries, depends upon what you read, to invent the electric light bulb. And as I said before, when his friend said, you failed 112 times, he said, no, I learned what worked and didn't work. So right action is thinking and understanding in your life what works for you and what didn't. But just because it didn't work for you then, doesn't mean it won't work for you now. For example, perhaps you were very clumsy at one time. You went through a growth stage. All as young children, we go through this growth stage and we're clumsy. And I went through it. And then I had trouble dancing. And then one night, I attended a fraternity party and I had like 3 beers, no food. And I started dancing. Well, I was loose as a goose. And, I had a little buzz, not drunk, and I danced great. And afterwards, I never needed any drink, any alcohol. I was able to dance great. But up until that time, I realized I needed to relax, and that's what the 3 beers did. I began to relax. When you're a teenager and you're in college, those things happen. And I learned something new, never to have 3 beers on an empty stomach. But I also learned that I could dance. And believe it or not, I became a very popular dancer, and all the women wanted to dance with me, and that was so hard. That was really tough.
Mom.
Oh, shh. That was really tough, like heck. But anyway, so when you take a look at all the things you've done, right action may not have applied to at that time because I was too uptight and too embarrassed to make a fool of myself. That's why I had trouble dancing. Then all of a sudden you were able to dance. I don't want to belabor the subject, but everything you do in life, you have to view as right action, not getting even. That's the important part, getting even. So how many of us have been taken advantage or lied to? All of us have. Has it happened a lot of times? Yes, it has. More times than I care to remember. I never keep track. But how many times do you meet people that say, yeah, well, you did this to me 10 years ago? I go, what? I don't remember what I did 10 years ago. I'm lucky to remember where I was 10 years ago.
I'm lucky I remember what I did yesterday.
Isn't that the truth? You know why she's that way, what she did yesterday or 10 years ago? Because that's the past. And you can't live in the past. Because if you live in the past, you're going to be stuck in the past. And being stuck in the past means that you can never move forward. The tide in the ocean comes in and comes out, and comes in and comes out. And that's like life. Life ebbs and flows just like the tides. And sometimes it's challenging, and sometimes it's easy. But one of the things we have to remember is, in right action and correct exchange, whenever you're challenged, you can overcome these challenges. Very important. You can overcome them. And it's so important to realize that all answers lie, I should say. All answers lie within. I'm floating everybody, so I apologize. So excuse
They
me.
don't know what floating
No, I
is.
guess they don't. In other words, I'm partially out of my body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that didn't help.
No, it doesn't. And I'm bringing forth this information. When I say all answers lie within,
Yep.
is that you know the answers to everything. Sometimes you don't want to face it. So right action says, do a meditation. Ask for an answer. You may not like the answer, and many times we get an answer. In fact, we get it right away. But what happens is we don't like the answer or we doubt it. And here we go. And then we form a block, and then, oh, gee, I should have listened. You know, how many times hindsight we hear that? The message today is very important because what comes around goes around. When you are doing right action,
Mom always said that.
yeah,
What goes around comes around. Mom
Yes, she
always
did.
said that. The mom in this life and the one in our past life.
and it's true.
Certainly is.
And if we realize that, just think about everything you're creating for the moment. And that's so important because you are creating your life by the moment. So what happens if you do right action all the time? Compliment people. Help people out at your convenience, not at your expense. That's key.
Yeah.
Not at your expense. And doing kind things. You know, there's an old cliche that I've learned. Not mine, but someone shared it with me. And that is very important. No expectations, no attachments. That's part of right action and correct exchange. When you help somebody out, hold on. When you help somebody out, don't expect them to bow down, appreciate it, or whatever. You're doing out of the kindness of your heart. Remember, no expectations. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead. You wanted to share something.
I did because it reminded me that how many times do we, and this happened to me a lot in the years gone by, where I would do things because I wanted people just to like me. I would go out of my way to do things and spend time or give gifts when I couldn't really afford it, but I just wanted someone to like me or be my friend. That's the same thing, you
Yes.
know, because you're talking about no expectations, you know, just doing it out of the goodness of your heart. So sometimes I think we really need to ask ourselves, why is this so important for us to do? You know, and if you can genuinely say, because, you know, I'm helping someone else, this is, you know, right action, and you don't need anything back. It's always nice to get a thank you, but it's, you know, the thank you comes in the satisfaction in your heart that you helped somebody else.
Point well taken, and that's really important for each of us to remember that. Tito, how are we doing on time?
I don't know. No. We've got about 6-7 minutes. We're good.
All right, we
Okay.
always reach that time within 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
As you're watching this, I challenge all of you to do right action at least 7 times a day, if not more. And right action is just simply complimenting someone or saying thank you or I appreciate you or whatever. And that's so important. This weekend, I had a chance to visit a friend, a couple that I've known for a long time. And I so enjoyed their company and I expressed my appreciation for them. And I said to the husband, thanks for being in my life. And I meant that with all my heart. There's not one thing that occurs in any relationship, in any speech, in any conversation that you don't learn something. Problem is that we're always thinking of an answer. So we get 20, 30% of what they're saying instead of 99 to 100%. So right action says, don't think of an answer. Listen to what they say. And then the answers will come forth. Maybe there's no answer, except thank you for sharing. And that's what I'm saying to all of you now, my right action. Thank you for giving up your time and sharing your time to listen to this message. You know, my two favorite expressions are, if you don't know where you're going, you can't get lost.
I love that one.
And that's really one of my favorite expressions, and I've applied it all my life. You know what part of right action is? When I say that, I have no preconceived ideas, no attachments. I know that whatever's supposed to happen will happen. Think about that. It means you're allowing the true source in the universe to fulfill your dreams. That's and what your soul urge is. That's a lot different than what the conscious mind says, which sometimes is contrary, but it's always best for you. And correct exchange is when someone compliments you, pass it on. That's so important. Think about all the things we've just talked about, what Tio has shared and I have shared the last few minutes. Think about all that. Think about doing right action and correct exchange every day. You know, that old cliche, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. As far as I'm concerned, really, we don't need any laws on this universe if you did unto others as you would have them do unto you. Think about that. You did all the kindness things. Everybody would be kind. If you did the negative things, then it would come back and bite you. But if you knew that, you would always make that decision, even if you were angry and upset, to do right action and correct exchange. I'd like to remind all of you, as we are now concluding, that on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, it's called Michael's Angels. That's a note where everybody took a vote and came up with that. And that is a point where you ask questions on a spiritual nature, and I hope I can answer them. And then I deliver a 10 to 12 minute message, and I have over 200 of them right now, I think 203. And I'm so honored to share them with you. First, I'd like to talk to all of you who are watching this to call in Michael's Angels. And the number is
202 926 1059. And the access code
is 125446 pound.
He does that so
I love it.
well. One more time, I'll give you the number. I'll also make sure that all the numbers that we give will be in the comments below. So Tuesday night at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. It's 202 926 1059.
And the access code is 125446 pound.
And for the recordings that Michael mentioned, you can access those 24/7. And would you like to explain a little more on that one?
Sure. So there are over 200 messages, and we're going to give you what I call the replay. And we'll give you the number in a moment, and you would push number 3 through 203, and you'll have wonderful messages. You know, when you're stuck in traffic or you're feeling down or lonely or depressed, these are really motivational. Usually they're 10 to 12 minutes, a couple a little bit longer, but it's so important for you because each and every time, don't let yourself get down. Don't feel lonely. Do something that'll help raise your vibrations and feel good about yourself. And this is exactly what those motivational and spiritual messages are. And the number is?
The number is 434 300 4170. And the access code is
125446 pound.
Okay, one more time on the number. It's 434 300 4170. Michael?
And the access code is 125446 pound. And the second Saturday of every month, we have the Mass Consciousness Healing. And it's just what it is. We ask for the true source to use ourselves as a conduit to send out healing to all the inhabitants on this planet, also to what I call Mother Earth, some call her Lady Gaia, synonymous, in the animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdom. No, they have an intelligence too, and they respond to love. And the number is?
One more time. It's 202-926-1059.
And the access code is 125446 pound.
Okay, one more time. That number is 202-926-1059.
And the access code is 125446 pound.
And one more time, it's the second Saturday of every month, and it's at 9:55, and it goes until 11:01. So if you dial in a little bit tardy to the party and all you hear is silence, we're already in. Feel free to join us in our meditation and bring energy and healing and love to our planet and the people who really, truly need it because they're struggling right now.
And don't be tardy to the party. I'm quoting my sister. I love that. Don't be tardy to the party.
Yeah, try not to be tardy to the party because Michael has a powerful message right before we get started. And
Thank you.
And you know, it's okay if you come tardy to the party at other parties, but not this one. This is a special party. Okay? Are you ready, Michael?
Yes.
We want to thank everyone for popping in and listening to us today. And we have fun. We totally don't script anything. You can tell that, okay?
No, we don't.
We don't even read the script right. So one more time, Dr. Michael Gross, best book I've ever read.
One of the best books I've ever read. Healing the Holes in Your Soul. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Remember, you are unlimited. So be it.
So be it.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good week, everyone.
We'll see you next Sunday.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Yeah.